Take a moment and imagine you're an animal who just happened upon your next meal. Does your imagination look something like this? Wrong. It's trash. You're still an animal eating a delicious meal. It just may seem a little less appealing to us humans. I'm sure you may have seen animals behave like this before, but you may have wondered, why eat trash? Well, that's an excellent question. Animals should forage based upon the optimal foraging theory, which describes animals that maximize the energy intake per time foraging as being most successful. Does eating trash fit with this theory? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's estimated that we have created 2.01 billion tons of trash, with that number rising as we speak. This anthropogenic waste provides a resource that many animals like bears, ungulates, primates, and many avian species have been studied exploiting. What do these species have in common? Well, most species who eat trash display high phenotypic plasticity, which is simply adaptability in their diet and behavior. Eating trash may be less suited for animals that have specific dietary or habitat needs, as the composition of trash and access to trash may vary. Therefore, adaptable species like black bears, who are known to alter the proportion of waste and natural food depending on the yield from natural sources, gain the most benefit from this behavior and are more likely to continue eating trash. But what are these benefits? Putting it simply, trash offers a very consistent high-energy food source. In fact, trash is such an efficient food source that white storks have been known to travel up to 20% farther on feeding trips to trash dumps, all while expending 10% less energy compared to normal feeding behavior. This fits perfectly with the optimal foraging theory. Less time spent and more food consumed mean you have more time to reproduce and keep passing on your trash-eating genes. But wait, we may have convinced you by now to start eating trash yourself. But before you dive in, take a moment to consider how eating trash isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Or well, scraps and leftovers. With a high concentration of food in trash comes a high concentration of plastics, metals, glass, and chemicals that can be hazardous if ingested. Additionally, high concentrations of foragers leads to high rate of transmission of disease between animals and even between animals and humans. There is also cause for concern over species becoming reliant on trash and the implication of their foraging if the trash source they are exploiting is removed. With the prevalence of this issue, many parks, cities, and landfills are drawn to solutions that can reduce the amount of trash foraging done by animals. It's common to backfill landfills to cover waste, as well as construct fencing to prevent some animals from getting to waste. These efforts are not globally practiced and vary in success. For residential areas, locking trash cans are the main effort to prevent animal foraging. Specific focus is placed in areas with other natural resources that may increase the presence of animals, like fruit trees and riparian zones. These efforts are as successful as residents are compliant. In parks, however, they have been shown to be extremely successful. After a $500,000 grant to lower human and bear interactions in Yosemite National Park, it was concluded that current bear populations' use of anthropogenic waste has decreased to the levels of 1915 bear populations, long before bear feeding programs and large waste dumps in the park were adopted. So why would an animal eat trash? Well, it's evolutionarily stable based upon the optimal foraging theory. Just think twice before you dive in yourself.